She was just an innocent girl, until a teacher's lies turned her world upside down. Imagine being falsely accused, bullied, and rejected, all because someone with power was determined to see her suffer. This is the heartbreaking story of Mia, a girl who faced betrayal from someone she trusted, and how her family's fight for justice revealed a shocking truth you won't believe. You'll discover how one manipulative teacher's secret motives nearly destroyed Mia's innocence, and how her brother and father refused to give up on her. The story is full of twists, tears, and a powerful lesson. Even in the darkest moments, honesty and resilience can expose the lies that threaten to break you. And here's the twist you won't see coming. The real betrayal cuts even deeper than the false accusations. Want to find out how Mia fights back and what truly sets her free? Stay tuned for the jaw-dropping moment when everything changes. Before we dive in, drop a comment telling us where you're watching from, and hit like if you believe in truth and justice. This story is one you won't forget. I wake up early on a bright morning. The sun shines softly through my window. I feel happy because I like school. Today is a special day. I grab my school bag and run downstairs. Mom is making breakfast. She smiles at me. "Good morning, Mia," she says. "Have a good day." "Thanks, Mom," I answer. I feel lucky to have her. At school, everything feels normal. I see my friends in the hallway. We talk and laugh. I like my class. I like my teacher, Mrs. Lane. She is strict but fair. She always makes sure we learn something new. Mrs. Lane is a tall woman with sharp eyes. She wears glasses and a neat dress. She is serious but kind when she teaches us. I trust her. I believe she cares about us. I sit at my desk and open my notebook. We start our lessons. I listen carefully and try to do my best. Suddenly, a loud noise echoes through the classroom. Mrs. Lane looks surprised. She walks quickly to the closet at the back of the room. She opens it and looks inside. Her face changes. She frowns and calls out, "Everyone, stay here. I need to check something." I feel a little worried. What is happening? Mrs. Lane leaves the classroom. I look around. My friends whisper to each other. I wonder what's going on. A few minutes later, Mrs. Lane comes back. She has a serious look on her face. She holds a small box. She walks to the front of the room and says, "Class, I need your help. Someone took something from the school. We will find out who did it." Everyone gets quiet. I feel confused. I don't understand. I didn't see anyone take anything. Mrs. Lane points at me. "Mia, do you know anything about this?" I shake my head quickly. "No, Mrs. Lane, I didn't take anything." But Mrs. Lane looks at me carefully. She frowns again. Later, I hear students talking. They whisper, "Mia did it. She took the missing item." Others follow. They believe Mrs. Lane. I feel cold inside. I don't understand. Why are they accusing me? I didn't do anything wrong. The worst part is that some kids start to avoid me. They don't want to play or talk to me anymore. I hear them say, "Mia is a thief." It hurts. I want to cry. My brother Jake sees me. He is a brave boy with short blonde hair. He comes over and puts his arm around me. "Don't worry, Mia," he says. "I know you're good. We will find out the truth." I look at him. I feel better because he believes in me. But that day gets worse. After school, Mrs. Lane talks to some students. I hear her whisper, "We need to keep this quiet. Mia is dangerous. If she did it, we can't let anyone else find out." I feel scared. Why would she say that? Later, I see Jake talking to our dad on the phone. Dad looks serious. He listens carefully. When he hangs up, he gently touches my shoulder. "Don't worry, Mia," he says. "I believe in you. We will fix this." That night, I lie in my bed. My mind is full of questions. Why did Mrs. Lane accuse me? Did I do anything wrong? I try to remember everything, but I can't think of any reason I would be guilty. I feel tired and small. I want everything to be okay again. The next morning, I wake up feeling a little hopeful. Maybe someday the truth will come out. Maybe people will see I am innocent. For now, I keep quiet and wait. I trust my dad. I trust that the truth will find a way. This is how my story begins. A story of quiet hope. A story where I believe in what is right. I don't know what will happen next, but I am ready to face it. Because I am Mia, and I believe that honesty and kindness are stronger than lies. I woke up feeling tired but happy. It was a new day, and I wanted to go to school and learn. I ate my breakfast quickly and kissed my dad and Jake goodbye. I packed my bag and headed out the door. When I got to school, I felt a little nervous. Yesterday, everything had gone wrong. Mrs. Lane, my teacher, seemed strict and serious. I tried to act normal. In the classroom, Mrs. Lane was at her desk. She looked at me with a strange look. I sat down and tried to focus on my work. Suddenly, Mrs. Lane called me to her desk. She looked serious. She said, "Mia, I need to talk to you." My heart started beating faster. I wondered what I had done wrong. Mrs. Lane whispered, "Mia, did you take the missing eraser from the classroom?" My eyes widened. "No, I didn't," I said softly. She looked at me closely. "Are you sure?" I nodded. "I didn't do it. I didn't take anything." Mrs. Lane sighed and looked away. "Well, we'll see," she said. "Someone took the eraser and I will find out who." I felt my stomach tighten. I knew I didn't take the eraser. Why was she asking me? After that, she went back to her desk. I tried to forget about it and focus on my lessons, but I felt worried. During break time, some kids whispered about me. "Mia took the eraser," one girl said. Others nodded and looked away when I tried to smile at them. I felt a little alone. Jake saw me sitting alone. He walked over and sat next to me. "Don't listen to them," he said. "You didn't do anything wrong." I looked at him. "But everyone thinks I took the eraser," I said. He frowned. "Mrs. Lane told everyone I saw you near the desk yesterday. Maybe she's trying to blame you." "I believe you, Mia." His words made me feel a little better. I knew Jake would always believe in me. Later, Mrs. Lane called me to her desk again. She said, "Mia, I need to speak with you after school." I nodded. I didn't understand what was happening. I felt scared but tried to stay brave. At lunch, I sat with Jake and my dad's words echoed in my head. "Stay honest, Mia. The truth will come out." After school, Mrs. Lane waited for me outside the classroom. She looked serious. "Mia," she said, "I want to ask you again. Did you take the eraser?" I looked at her. "No, I didn't take it. I swear I didn't." She paused and looked at me carefully. "Okay," she said slowly, "but I need to talk to your father about this." I felt a little hope. Maybe she was going to find out that I was innocent. When I got home, I told my dad everything. I showed him my hands and said, "I didn't take the eraser. I didn't do anything wrong." He hugged me tight. "I believe you, Mia. We will find out the truth." That night, I lay in bed and thought about the day. I felt tired, but also hopeful. I wanted to believe that the truth would come out. I wanted all the lies to stop. Mrs. Lane was acting strange. I didn't know what she was planning, but I knew I didn't do anything wrong. The next day, I decided to be brave. I would keep telling the truth. I would wait and see what would happen. Even though I felt scared sometimes, I knew my family loved me. I knew that honesty was the best thing to hold on to, and I hoped that soon everyone would see that I was innocent. I wanted to go back to being myself, happy and trusted. That's how my second day started, full of worry but also hope. I knew that soon the truth would come out, and everything would be okay again. I woke up the morning after the bad day at school. My head still felt heavy. The quiet in my house made me feel a little better, but I knew I wasn't truly okay. Everything was still wrong. I sat at the kitchen table with my father. He looked at me with kind eyes. "Mia," he said softly, "you are innocent. I believe in you. We will find the truth." I looked down at my hands. I wanted to believe that, but it felt hard. The day before, everyone had believed Mrs. Lane. She said I took the eraser. The teacher looked at me like I was guilty. I didn't do it, but no one seemed to listen. My brother Jake came into the room. He looked angry but also worried. "I won't let them say you're guilty," he said. "I'll fight for you. I'll show everyone the truth." I felt a little better hearing that. Jake was brave. He was ready to stand up for me, even if it made him upset. Later that morning, I went to school. I tried to stay calm, but I could see how some students looked at me differently. They whispered and pointed. I heard one girl say, "She's the thief." I felt tears in my eyes. Mrs. Lane was at her desk. She looked at me with cold eyes. She hadn't said much since yesterday. I thought maybe she was upset or worried, but she didn't seem sorry. She only looked busy, pretending everything was normal. I wanted to talk to her, to ask why she was saying I did it, but I was too afraid. I just kept walking, feeling small and alone. After lunch, I sat outside alone. A boy named Tommy came over. He was one of the few who didn't believe the lies. He looked at me carefully. "Did you take the eraser?" he asked kindly. I shook my head. "No, I didn't do it, I swear." Tommy nodded. "I believe you. I saw Mrs. Lane talking to her nephew yesterday. I think she's lying." Hearing that made me feel a little hope. Maybe someone was starting to see the truth. In the afternoon, I tried to talk to my friend Lily, but she looked at me with doubt. "I don't know, Mia," she said softly. "Mrs. Lane is so sure you took it. Maybe you did?" My heart sank. It's hard to stay strong when your friends start to believe the lies, but I knew I had to keep trying. When school ended, I went home. My father was waiting for me. I ran into his arms. He held me tight. "Mia," he said softly, "trust your heart. The truth will come out. We just have to be patient." That night, I couldn't sleep much. I thought about everything. I remembered what my father said, "Trust your heart." I knew I hadn't done anything wrong. I just had to wait and see what would happen next. The next morning, I decided I wouldn't give up. I would find proof. I would show everyone that I was innocent. As I got ready for school, I felt a little spark of hope. Even though everything looked dark now, I believed the truth was somewhere out there, and I knew my family and I would keep fighting for it. That was the start of a new day, and I was ready to find out what would come next. I woke up feeling tired but determined. I knew I had to keep going, even if everything around me seemed dark. My head was full of questions. Why was everyone believing Mrs. Lane? Why did they think I did something I didn't do? I looked at my small mirror and saw my reflection. I looked the same as always, sad but still me. At school, the hallways felt quiet and cold. My backpack felt heavy on my shoulders. I saw some of my classmates whispering, and I knew they still believed what Mrs. Lane said. Their eyes avoided mine. I felt lonely, like I was walking alone in a big storm. Mrs. Lane was at her desk, writing on the board. She looked serious, like she had a plan. I wanted to ask her why she was saying I was a thief, but I was too scared. My heart was beating fast. As I walked past her desk, she looked up and smiled coldly. "Mia," she said softly, "please remember, honesty is very important. You need to tell the truth." I looked away. I wanted to cry, but I didn't. I just nodded quietly. I didn't understand why Mrs. Lane was so mean, but I knew I hadn't done anything wrong. I looked at her and thought, why is she doing this? What did I do to make her lie? During break time, I sat by myself on a bench. My brother Jake ran over. His face was worried. "Mia," he said softly, "don't forget, I believe in you. We will find the truth." His words made me feel a little stronger, but the pain was still inside me. Suddenly, Tommy, my friend from class, came closer. He looked nervous but brave. "Mia," he whispered, "I think Mrs. Lane is lying. I saw her talking with her nephew. I think she's trying to make you look bad." My eyes got big. I asked, "Really? You saw that?" Tommy nodded. "Yes, I was hiding behind the door. She was telling him what to say, how to make it look like you did it. I think she's lying." My heart raced. Could this be true? Could Mrs. Lane be the one lying? I looked at Tommy and felt a tiny spark of hope. Maybe I wasn't alone. Maybe the truth was somewhere out there. Later that day, I told my father what Tommy said. He listened carefully and nodded. "Mia," he said softly, "we will find the truth. Don't worry. People who lie often get caught. Just keep believing in yourself." That night, I lay in my bed. I thought about what Tommy said. Could Mrs. Lane really be the one lying? Did she want to hide something? I didn't know yet, but I felt a little stronger. Someone believed me, and I believed in myself. The next morning, I decided I wouldn't give up. I would try to find more evidence. I would keep asking questions and stay honest. I knew that in the end, the truth would come out. I just had to be patient and brave. As I walked into school again, I looked around. I saw Mrs. Lane talking quietly with some teachers. I felt nervous, but I also felt a small hope inside me. I knew that the lies couldn't stay hidden forever. The truth was like a light that would shine through the darkness someday. I took a deep breath and promised myself I wouldn't stop. No matter how hard it got, I would keep believing in what was right, because I knew, deep inside, that honesty and courage are stronger than any lie. And so, I went on, ready to face whatever came next. I wasn't alone anymore. I had hope, and I had the truth on my side. I knew that soon, everything would be clear. I just had to wait a little longer. I sat quietly in my small room. The sunlight came through the window, but it did not make me feel happy. I was tired and sad. Things had gotten worse. People at school kept avoiding me. Some whispered behind my back. They believed Mrs. Lane's lies. I felt like I was alone in a big, dark storm. My father sat next to me. He looked at me with kind eyes. "Mia," he said softly, "you are still my girl. The truth will come out. I believe in you." His words made me feel a little stronger. I knew he trusted me, and that made me want to keep trying. I looked down and asked, "Dad, how can the truth come out? Mrs. Lane is so powerful. She is telling everyone I did something I didn't do." He reached out and held my hand. "We just need to find proof. We need to see what really happened. Sometimes the truth is hidden, but it always comes to light in the end." I nodded. I was tired of feeling helpless, but deep inside, I had a small spark of hope. I wanted to find that proof. I wanted to show everyone I was innocent. Later that day, I sat in the schoolyard. I watched the other children. Some ignored me, others whispered. I saw Jake walking toward me quickly. His face was serious. "Mia," he said, "I am sorry I got suspended. I was only trying to help you. I believe you too. We will find a way." His words made me smile. Jake was brave, and I knew he would keep fighting for me. I looked into his eyes and said, "Thank you, Jake. I won't give up. I believe the truth will come out." That afternoon, I decided to look for clues. I thought hard about what Mrs. Lane said and did. I remembered that I saw her talking with her nephew, that little boy who was being used as a pawn. I wondered if he knew something that could help me. I sneaked into the library. I looked through old papers and notes. Then I found a torn piece of paper behind a book. It was small, but I saw writing on it. I held it carefully and looked closer. It was part of a note that Mrs. Lane had written. My heart started to beat fast. Could this be a clue? Maybe it was her secret plan. I tucked the piece of paper into my pocket and ran to tell my father. "Dad, I found something," I said out of breath. I showed him the torn paper. His face brightened when he saw it. "This could be very important," he said. "It shows Mrs. Lane was planning something. We need to show this to the police or a trusted adult." I felt a new hope. Maybe now people would see the truth. I knew it would not be easy. Mrs. Lane was clever, and she might try to hide her lies. But I believed in myself and in the right thing. That evening, my father called a teacher he trusted. They looked at the torn note. After a while, the teacher nodded. "This is proof," she said. "Mrs. Lane was talking about framing Mia. We will get to the bottom of this." I listened carefully. I felt proud and strong. I knew the truth was finally starting to come out. The next day, at school, the principal called Mrs. Lane. She looked worried. Everyone listened as the principal told her about the torn note and of her secret plans. Mrs. Lane could not deny it. Her lies were exposed. People started to understand. Mrs. Lane's scheme was wrong. She lost her job, and everyone saw that she had lied to protect her family. I felt a big weight lift from my shoulders. Jake was happy too. He came to me and said, "Mia, I knew you were telling the truth. I am sorry I got suspended, but I am glad we found the real story." I smiled. "Thank you, Jake. Your help meant a lot to me. Now I can start to feel safe again." That day, I learned something very important. Lies can be dangerous. They can hurt innocent people, but the truth always has a way to come out. It might take time, but it will find its way to the surface. I looked around at my friends and my family. I knew I still had some hurt inside, but I also knew I was stronger than before. I would never forget that honesty and kindness are the most important things. As I went home that evening, I felt hopeful. Things would get better. The storm was not over, but I believed the sun would shine again soon. And I would be ready to face whatever came next, because I knew, deep in my heart, that the truth wins in the end. I wake up early the next morning. I feel tired, but also a little excited. Things are starting to change. I know the truth is coming out. Mrs. Lane is going to be caught. I take a deep breath and get ready for the day. When I walk into the classroom, I see that some students are still looking at me. I hear whispers. I feel a little nervous. But I remember what my dad said. Be brave, trust yourself. So I hold my head up high. Mrs. Lane is at her desk. She looks worried. I notice her eyes are red. Maybe she is scared now. I wonder if she knows that her lies are almost over. The day starts like every other, but then something happens. A boy named Tommy walks up to me. He looks serious. Tommy was in my class since the beginning. He saw Mrs. Lane talking with her nephew the day I was accused. Tommy says, "Mia, I saw Mrs. Lane talking with her nephew last week. They looked worried. I think she was planning something bad." I feel my heart beat faster. This is a big clue. It's the first time someone outside my family says something that proves I was telling the truth. I say, "Thank you, Tommy. That helps a lot." Mrs. Lane hears this. She stands up quickly and looks at us. Her face turns pale. I think she knows her secret is about to come out. Later that morning, I find my father waiting for me in the hall. He looks calm but serious. He says, "Mia, I found something. A torn piece of paper with Mrs. Lane's handwriting. It talks about how she would make you look bad to protect her nephew." My eyes widen. I feel a little hope. Maybe now everyone will see the truth. That afternoon, the principal calls a meeting. He tells all the teachers and students that they will look at the evidence. He says that lying is very wrong. Mrs. Lane is called into the office. Her face is covered with shame. She tries to say she was only trying to help her family, but everyone sees she lied. Her tone is nervous. She can't deny it anymore. When the truth is finally clear, I feel a big wave of relief. People stop looking at me with suspicion. My classmates who bullied me start to apologize. My brother Jake comes to sit beside me. He looks proud and happy. I look at him and smile. I want to tell him, "Thank you for fighting for me." But I just squeeze his hand instead. My father hugs me gently. He says, "You were brave. You never gave up. The truth always wins." Mrs. Lane is no longer a teacher here. She has lost her job. Her reputation is gone. She looks sad and lonely. I feel a little sad for her, but I know she made her choice. That evening, I sit with my family. We talk about everything. My father says, "Trust is like a glass. Once it's broken, it's hard to fix. But we can learn to be careful and honest." I nod. I know now that honesty is the best way. Lies can hurt people very badly, but truth is stronger. I think about everything I've learned. I feel stronger too. I am not afraid anymore. I will keep being honest and kind. I know that someday, everyone will see the real me, and I will always believe that the truth can set you free. I felt nervous as I walked into the school that morning. People had been whispering about me. Some students looked away when I met their eyes. I knew Mrs. Lane's lies had caused a big problem, but I also knew that the truth was coming out. I took a deep breath and tried to stay strong. As I entered my classroom, I saw my father waiting outside. He smiled and gave me a little nod. His eyes told me he believed in me. That made me feel a little brave. Inside the room, things looked different. The teachers looked serious. Some students were talking quietly. And I could see Mrs. Lane standing near her desk. She looked worried. I wondered if she knew her secrets were about to be exposed. Suddenly, Mr. Carter, the principal, stepped to the front. He looked at everyone and then at Mrs. Lane. He cleared his throat and spoke. "Today, we will learn the truth. Mrs. Lane has helped us see what is right and what is wrong. We found out that she lied to protect her family." Mrs. Lane's face turned pale. She looked down at her hands. I could see her trembling a little. Mr. Carter continued. "Mrs. Lane tried to blame Mia for something she didn't do, but we found proof that shows Mrs. Lane was behind it all. She planned to protect her nephew, who was involved in the incident." I looked around. Who had the proof? Then I remembered the torn note I'd found before. It was a small piece of paper, torn in half. Mrs. Lane's handwriting was on it. It said she had told her nephew to hide the items and blame Mia if anyone asked. One of the teachers, Miss Roberts, stepped forward holding the torn note. She said, "We found this in Mrs. Lane's desk. It matches what Mia told us. This is clear proof that Mrs. Lane planned everything to make Mia look guilty." Mrs. Lane's face sank. She tried to speak, but no words came out. She looked around at all of us, her eyes full of regret and fear. The students started to talk quietly. Some nodded, realizing Mrs. Lane had lied. Others looked upset that she had hurt Mia. Mr. Carter spoke again. "Mrs. Lane, your actions have caused a lot of pain. You lied to protect your family, but honesty is more important than hiding the truth. Because of what you did, you will leave the school today. You will no longer be our teacher." Mrs. Lane looked at her feet. A tear rolled down her cheek. She was finally faced with what she had done. I felt a mix of emotions. I was happy that the truth was out. I was also sad for Mrs. Lane, even though she had hurt me. I stayed quiet and looked at my father. He nodded to me and smiled gently. After the meeting, everyone started talking about how right it was to find the truth. The school promised to help me heal from the hurt. Teachers and students came to say they were sorry for believing Mrs. Lane's lies at first. My brother Jake ran up to me. His face was bright and happy. "Mia, I knew you didn't do it. I fought for you, and now everyone knows the truth." I hugged him tight. "Thank you, Jake. I was scared, but I never stopped believing that the truth would come out." My father put his arm around me. "You are very brave, Mia. You stayed honest, even when it was hard. That is what matters most." As I looked around, I saw some students smiling and talking quietly. They told me they believed in me from the start. I felt a little stronger. I knew that the lies could not win forever. The truth was finally shining bright. That day, the school started to heal. Mrs. Lane was gone, and everyone was learning a big lesson. Lies can hurt, but honesty will always set things right in the end. I went home that afternoon feeling tired but hopeful. I knew the road ahead might still have some scars, but I was no longer afraid. I had my family, my friends, and the truth on my side. And I promised myself I would always be honest, no matter what. Because I learned that honesty is the strongest thing we can have. It can heal wounds and bring justice, even when things seem dark. As I sat with my father and Jake that evening, I looked up and smiled. I was ready to start a new chapter, one where truth and kindness lead the way. It was quiet in the school now. The big crowd that once watched Mia with suspicion was gone. Many students and teachers were talking quietly with each other. Everyone was trying to understand what really happened. I sat in my classroom feeling tired, but also a little hopeful. I looked out the window and thought about everything that had happened. I felt my father's warm hand on my shoulder. He sat next to me, and I could see the kindness in his eyes. He whispered, "Mia, I believe you. The truth is coming out." I nodded slowly. His words made me feel a little stronger inside. Mrs. Lane was no longer a teacher here. I heard that she had lost her job. People found out what she had done, and her reputation was ruined. I wasn't happy that she was suffering, but I knew it was right. She had played with lies, and now she had to face the truth. I looked at my brother Jake. He still looked upset, but he was also proud. He had fought for me, and even though he got suspended, he did the right thing. Seeing him made me feel brave. I reached out and held his hand. "Thanks, Jake. You didn't give up on me, I said softly. He smiled a little. I'll always be here for you, Mia, no matter what. Mrs. Lane's nephew was sitting quietly in another part of the school. I saw him looking down, feeling confused and guilty. He had been used as a pawn in Mrs. Lane's plan. Now, he was starting to realize that doing the right thing was more important than following orders. Later that day, some teachers and students came to talk to me. They said they were sorry for what I had been through. They said they believed in me now. I felt a small spark of happiness. Maybe things could get better. My father took me to a quiet corner. He looked at me with a gentle smile. Mia, he said, this has been a hard time, but you were brave. You told the truth. That's the most important thing. Always remember, honesty is the best way. I looked at him and nodded. I knew he was right. Being honest may sometimes be hard, but it is always right. As I sat with my family, I thought about what I learned. Lies can hurt people very much, but the truth will always come out, even if it takes time. I learned that trust is fragile. It can break easily, but can also be rebuilt if everyone is honest. That afternoon, I went outside to breathe fresh air. The sun was shining, and I saw some friends playing in the yard. They smiled at me and waved. I waved back. I felt a little lighter inside. I was not perfect, and I still had a lot to heal. But I knew I was stronger than before. I was ready for a new start. Later, I sat down with my father again. I looked at him and said, Dad, I want to be honest and kind. I want people to trust me. I will always try to do what is right. He smiled warmly and patted my hand. That's my girl. Always stay true to your heart. As the day ended, I felt hope growing inside me. The big storm was over, and the sunshine was coming back. I knew that the truth had won this time, and I also knew that no matter what happens in the future, I will stay honest and brave. That night, I went to bed thinking about everything. I closed my eyes and whispered to myself, the truth will always find a way, and I believed it with all my heart. I wake up feeling tired, but relieved. The big secret is out. Mrs. Lane's lies are finally exposed. Everyone in school now knows she was the one who hurt me with her words and tricks. It feels strange to be free from her manipulation. I look at my father, and I see a gentle smile on his face. He always believed in me, even when others didn't. Today is a new day. I am going back to school. I take a deep breath to steady myself. My heart beats faster because I am nervous. What will the other kids say? Will they believe I am innocent now? I hope so. I hold my head up high and walk into the school building. As I enter my classroom, I see some friends. They look at me with kind eyes. I can see they are sorry for how they treated me before. I walk over to them. Thank you for believing in me, I say softly. One girl, Sarah, steps forward. Mia, I'm sorry we didn't see the truth earlier. We should have listened to you. Her words make me feel warm inside. I nod and smile. It's okay. I know I'm innocent. The truth is always better than a lie. Mrs. Lane is not there today. I heard she was told she cannot teach at this school anymore. I feel a little happy about that. She hurt so many people with her lies. I hope she feels sorry now. Later, in the hallway, I see Jake. He's walking toward me quickly. His face is serious but kind. Mia, he says softly, I fought for you because I knew you were telling the truth. I got suspended, but I don't care. I'm glad everyone knows the real story now. I put my arms around him. Thank you, Jake. You are my hero. We stand close for a moment. I feel proud of him. He showed courage and strength. My father comes over. He is proud of us. You both are brave, he says. Always stay honest and kind. That's the most important thing. As the day goes on, more kids come to say they are sorry for how they treated me. They admit they were wrong to believe Mrs. Lane without checking. I listen to them and feel happy. I realize that sometimes people make mistakes, but the truth can always come out if we stay patient and honest. In class, the teacher praises Mia and Jake for their bravery. You both showed that honesty is the best way, she says. I feel proud. I know that I am strong because I stayed true to myself. Later that afternoon, I sit outside with my father and Jake. We watch the clouds move slowly in the sky. I think about everything that happened. It was hard, but I learned something very important. Lies can hurt, but truth always wins in the end. My father looks at me and says, "Mia, remember, trust is fragile. It can break if we are not careful. But honesty and kindness can make our trust strong again. Never forget that." I nod. I feel a warm feeling inside. I am not broken anymore. I am stronger. I know that the world is sometimes unfair, but I also know that being honest and kind is the right way. As the sun sets, I feel hope. Things are better now. The lies are gone. The truth is here, and I am ready for a new beginning. I look at Jake and my father and say, "Thank you for believing in me." I will never forget this lesson. I will always try to tell the truth, no matter what. They smile back at me. I feel happy and safe. This day marks a new start, a day of honesty, bravery, and hope. And I know one thing for sure. No matter what happens next, I will always stay true to myself, because the truth is the strongest power in the world. I feel happy and sad at the same time. The truth is finally out. Mrs. Lane's lies have been exposed. Everyone knows she lied to protect her family. The school is talking about her mistake. Mrs. Lane looks very ashamed. Her head is down, and she is quiet. It is the end of her plan, and she has lost her job. I stand there with my father and Jake. We watch as Mrs. Lane walks away, her face red with shame. I take a deep breath. I feel a big weight lift off my chest. For a long time, I was scared and confused. I didn't know if I could trust anyone. But now, I see that the truth is stronger than lies. My father puts his hand on my shoulder. "You did the right thing, Mia," he says softly. "You stayed true and honest. That's the most important thing." I look at him and feel grateful. He never stopped believing in me, even when everyone else doubted. Jake comes over and hugs me tightly. "I'm sorry I got suspended," he says. "I wanted to protect you. I should have listened more." I smile and squeeze his hand. "You're brave, Jake. You fought for me. That means a lot." Many students and teachers come over to say they are sorry. Some of my friends who once ignored me now tell me they believe me. They say they were confused and hurt by Mrs. Lane's lies. I feel warm inside, even though I still have some pain from everything that happened. I walk with my father and Jake outside the school. The sun is shining. I see the blue sky and feel the fresh air. I think about everything I learned. I learned that honesty is very important. I learned that lies can hurt many people. And I learned that no matter how hard things get, the truth will always come out. We sit on a bench outside. My father looks at me with a kind smile. "Mia," he says, "you are very brave. You never gave up. Remember, always trust yourself and do what is right, even if others do not see it right away." I nod. I know he is right. I also know that I will never forget this terrible time. It has taught me to be strong and honest. I will always stand up for what is true. After a while, I see Mrs. Lane walking away, far from the school. She looks small and lonely. I feel sad for her. She made many mistakes, and now she has to face her actions. I hope she can learn to be honest and kind in the future. As we walk home, I think about my family and friends. I feel proud that I did not give up. I feel stronger now. I know there will be hard days ahead, but I believe in myself and the truth. When we get home, my father hugs me again. "You are my brave girl," he says. "You showed everyone that honesty is the best way." I smile and look out the window. I see the world is a better place when we tell the truth. That night, I go to bed feeling peaceful. I know I have won something very special, my trust in myself. I also know that kindness and honesty are stronger than any lie. I am ready to start a new chapter, one where I stay true and strong. This experience has changed me. I will never forget the lessons I learned. I will always believe in the power of truth, and I will keep being honest no matter what, because I know in my heart that honesty and kindness are the real way to win. Today was hard, but it was also a new beginning. I am ready to move forward, stronger and wiser than before, and I will never forget the day the truth finally came out.